Hello, beautiful souls. Rare and special event. Like a super rare unicorn sighting, Sky is teaching some of the foundational ThetaHealing certification courses online. It is one blazing rainbow of a portal opening up for a life-changing experience, all from the comfort of your own home. If you're interested in joining me, learning from my years of service to this international community, it's time to make your dreams come true and share with you one of the most powerful tools used to bring us into alignment, direct connection to the highest vibration of all that is, to ramp up your manifestation skills, all while creating impeccable discernment and empowering you with a map to the universe and beyond that will serve you the rest of this life and throughout lifetimes to come. If you're ready to step in, this is your time. If you're ready to clear your limiting beliefs and trauma that you haven't been able to get rid of this whole lifetime, pain or suffering, and general overall cosmic crap that you may think has been serving you, and move forward to be the most epic, brilliant, sparkly representation of self on this earth in a human body, this is one of the most potent steps I've discovered over the last almost 2 decades throughout all my travels, hanging out with all these healers all over the world that can help you get that for yourself. Taking these foundational certification courses with me after I've helped write and create these very foundational courses of ThetaHealing that have made it internationally renowned and traveled around the world with the founder Vianna Steibel and her husband Guy is a unique, powerful transmission, a download in itself that you don't want to miss. Plus, I'm effing magical. After all, cell does talk to cell, and light travels faster than the speed of light, and light just is. For more details and how to register for upcoming courses, go to www.skyislimitless.com. Go to the Work with Sky section, and then you'll see all about ThetaHealing certification. That's www.skyislimitless.com. Or you can just go to the show notes and click on the link there.
Welcome to Leading with Light, a wellspring for the transformational leader that you were born to be, where you can fill up and align, gather and be inspired, and bring your vision to light. Guiding you towards your divine connection and limitless possibilities, here is your host, visionary leader extraordinaire, Sky Ahern. Poof.
Hello, transformational leaders. Welcome to this Love and Light Fest, your sweet spot for stepping up and getting your shine on. I'm your host, Sky Ahern, and you are listening to Leading with Light. Today's guest is Kelley Hunter, Ph.D. Kelley Hunter, longtime astrologer, mythologist, author, and speaker, brings her rich wisdom of psychology, cosmology, holistic healing, and unified field physics and spirituality into unique focus on the cosmic feminine. Kelley is the Director of Helia Productions, where she co-creates experiential events for personal and planetary awakening, diving into the creative process, storytelling, and stargazing. You can learn more about Kelley and sign up for her cosmic astrological newsletter at www.heliastar.com. That's HELIA star.com. Welcome to the show, Kelley.
Hi, Sky. Good to be with you again as we head into the last season of 2021.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah, we're going to get some cosmic inspiration here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so, we talk seasonally. We didn't do it the last couple of times because we got a little off track with so many changes going on, but we're going to zoom into the power portals for this last season that goes from September equinox, September 22nd, to December solstice, 2021, December 21st. So, and I'm going to go a little bit the week after solstice because there's a lot going on at the very last end days of the year. So we're going to look at that. And I'd like to start by talking about two main themes of this year. One of them is an overarching pattern focused on Pluto, the god of death and rebirth, transformational energy from the inside out, like a volcano that heats up and then, whoa, it erupts and it devastates the landscape. And then when that cools off, there's new land, there's new growth that comes from that mineral rich lava from inside the earth. And this is a long cycle planet. Pluto takes 248 years to go around the sun, and therefore through all of the zodiac signs. And it's at the very end of Capricorn, an earth sign that's about the forms and structures we live under. And Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. And we have another couple of years before Pluto goes into Aquarius and helps amplify our experience of the new Aquarian age. So Pluto in Capricorn is just decimating what no longer works, old forms and structures, and is exposing a lot of dark stuff, things that aren't working, corruption. And, we've had a pretty rigorous end of Pluto in Capricorn time with this whole last couple of years.
So let's remind listeners of what Pluto is, if they've forgotten, in Aquarius and Capricorn.
Well, I'm not willing to talk about it in Aquarius yet, but
okay,
let's stick with the Capricorn, because Pluto, if it is the god of death and rebirth,
okay,
it strips things down to rebuild. And Capricorn is an earth sign. So these are going to be actual structures. And indeed, it's also the earth speaking. So we've had a lot of earthquakes and volcanic activity and weather patterns and a lot of earth changes going on in relation to the waves of photon, these light energies coming into our whole solar system. All of the planets are showing and expressing dynamic changes. It's not just the Earth. We're part of this larger system. And Pluto reminds us of that. It's something bigger. It's like a moment of destiny, we could say, with Pluto at this time. And so what's working and what's not is one of the questions that Pluto is necessitating. And right. Things, we know that we've crossed a bridge. We're not going back. We're not going back where we were a couple of years ago. We're heading into new territory.
Thank goodness.
And part of the impetus for this new activity is being led by one of the new planetoids out in the far solar system named Eris. And Eris was that troublemaker in Greek mythology who threw that golden apple into the feast on Olympus, and the three goddesses had to vie to be chosen as the fairest. And the Trojan War ensued. So that's the best known myth of Eris, who's known as the goddess of discord. She's that person you don't want to invite to your party because she's going to make trouble. And then she's going, yeah, well, those goddesses think they're better than me. They think they have it made. I'm just going to show what these goddesses are made of. So she throws that apple in and stirs things up, which is what Eris does. She stirs up discord in order to air and reveal what needs to be revealed, to clear the air. So she's often considered, this goddess of discord and a real troublemaker, but since she was discovered just a couple of not even 20 years ago, she has been named a warrior goddess. And originally, the astronomer who discovered her was nicknaming her Xena. Remember that television show with Xena? Right. And she was a warrior. She was a queen princess type. She was a leader. She was a healer. So there's this Xena underlay. I was very upset when they named her Eris because I liked the name Xena. I thought we should go with that. I thought it was a positive archetype energy.
Right.
Eris has that subtone of Xena, and I want to go with that. So, so Eris, you know, also brought up the whole, is Pluto still a planet question? And, you know, there was a lot of discord about that in the astronomy world. So that's why the discoverer said we should call her Eris. And so here she is. And Eris takes 556 years to go around the sun. She's twice as far away as Pluto. So her cycle is even longer. And we're at this point now where Eris is at the end of Aries, where she's been since the late 1920s. Everybody born since then has Eris in Aries. And she just has a few more years to go. She's at the end of Aries. And Eris is the pioneer, the trailblazer. She said, we're heading into new territory. So let's just, you know, clear the deck of anything that is not on the new wavelength. And she's looking over at Pluto and says, Pluto, you do your job. You bring down those systems, and I'm going to help you do it. And Pluto's going like, okay, all right. Just don't go too fast, too far. I've got a lot of work to do here.
Quite a team.
Quite a team. Quite a team. So this is one of the pairs, as you said, quite a combination. And we've got another player in this pattern. And that is another one of the new planetoids in the far out solar system. And this one is named Haumea.
Oh, I love
and
Haumea.
Haumea is the Hawaiian goddess of childbirth. She gives birth to everything on the earth. People, plants, animals, anything. And then once she gives birth, then she renews herself. So she is ready to give birth again. So she's these cycles of creativity and then self-renewal. You know, mothers who give birth, they know that, you know, they get this postpartum depression. They need to kind of take care of themselves as well and renew their bodies and, you know, get that energy and vitality back. And that's something of what she represents. And she brings forth from some impulse inside her that I think is the question. What do we bring forth? What do we give birth to? Here we are giving birth to the new world, in fact. How do we want to live as we move forward? And Eris has this inevitable, we're moving forward, folks. We're moving forward, folks. And Pluto is saying, we burned the bridge behind us. And Haumea is at the end of Libra. And she's opposite Eris and squaring Pluto. So she's in on this. Haumea in Libra is saying there are new partnerships. How are we making the choices about how we're moving forward? Let's do this together. Let's make partnerships. Let's find the harmony that we need to move forward together. So we are determining together what choices we are making as we move forward.
That is very apropos of what feels
and
like going on.
Haumea, yes, Haumea has this birthing energy and is in a dynamic with Pluto that is death and rebirth. So there's extra renewal energy. And where is that impulse coming? You know, it's coming out of this chaos. Chaos theory says that if you find the heart of chaos, you will find the seed to the new unfolding. And that's what Haumea is bringing forth, that seed to the new unfolding.
I just feel like we better pray here pretty soon, because that looks like we are going to have to pray through that the whole time.
Yeah, so I just want to articulate that one more time.
Yes.
Eris stirs things up
Yes.
and moves us forward. Haumea is seeding the rebirth and giving birth. And Pluto is, all right, we're clearing the ground so that this newness can happen.
So beautiful.
Yes, it's quite beautiful, quite extraordinary.
And should we already be feeling this? Because I'm feeling this already.
Yes, this has been going on for a couple of years. But it's an ongoing pattern that is getting even more precisely aligned this year, and will continue another year and two as well. But this is one of the main patterns this year. I'm going to mention it a couple of times as we look for these power portals, and some of the power portals activate this pattern. So I wanted to mention that pattern.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, well, let's pray, because everything's going to go forth a lot easier if we pray.
Let's do that. Yeah.
So we're going to do a little meditation and go up and pray. If you'd like to join us, come on. Just going to stop what you're doing and just give yourself a few minutes. You're going to just settle in. Maybe put your hands on your heart, maybe one on your belly. Put your feet on the floor and center yourself. Take a big deep breath in and pulling up the energy of the earth, which is a part of all that is, all the way up through the soles of your feet, into your legs, up your hips and your torso, all the way up to the crown of your head. And today we're going to hold our breath for as long as we can, and then exhale down the front of our bodies with a big ha. Imagine moving that old stagnant energy or any worry or stress or fear out, down through the soles of your feet into the earth, giving it back to the Mama Earth, watching it go down into the core of that fiery earth and burn it up. And we're going to send it to the seventh plane of existence, into that energy of creation, where it just discreates into that highest vibration of all that is unconditional love. And when you see it discreate, we're going to breathe out more unconditional love all the way up through our universe, into our planetary system, into our planet, all the way up through the soles of your feet, blessing every cell in your body, over 3 trillion, I hear, all the way up your legs and your hips, back of your spine, into all of your organs, blessing your whole entire physical human body, all the way up to the crown of your head. And hold your breath, letting your breath catch up with my words, holding for as long as you can up the top of your head, and then breathing down the front of your body using a diaphragmatic release. Letting go, knowing you don't have to hold this energy, all the energy that you absorb on this earth, into your body in order to witness it healing or shifting or changing. Gotta let it go sometimes, just like dumping that compost. Imagine you never dumped your compost. Whoa, that would be tough. So you give that back to Mama Earth. Watch it discreate in that sparkly white light again, poof. And then breathing up the energy of creation again, all the way up through the earth into every cell of your body, all the way up to the crown of your head, holding your breath. And that next exhale out, like you're wringing out a rag, anything that isn't yours, anything you're ready to change, anything you're ready to let go of, old patterns, anything you're absorbing from your environment, just breathing that down into the earth, getting it out of your human physical body, sending it to the core of the earth, and then to that seventh plane energy, watching it discreate. And on your next inhale, you're going to breathe that energy one more time, all the way up through your body. Lighten up each chakra as you go, like a little rainbow, poof, coming up out of the crown of your chakra. In a beautiful ball of light, imagine going up higher past the tallest tree, past the tallest mountain, past the Earth's atmosphere, past all the planets, past Pluto, past all these other little planetoids and planets that we're finding, past the universe, the multiverse, past the dark lights of the fourth plane, the white lights of the fifth plane, through that thick jelly-like substance, the laws of the universe, into that pink cotton candy-like energy, feeling that energy of compassion, which is the law of compassion, that pink cotton candy-like energy, highest vibration of the sixth plane of existence, filling up your whole entire being, your whole heart. Give yourself some compassion for being a human on this earth as all this transformation is happening. Deeper into that energy, you'll see this white rectangular window of sparkly iridescent light. You're going to poof on into it. And as soon as you step into it, it just goes poof. And all around you, you see yourself in the sparkly energy of creation that creates all things. See yourself in your beautiful ball of light. Reach up out of that bubble. Gather as much of this energy, bringing it down into your bubble, into your body, and watching it go into every cell, in between every cell, and then just watching it just poof and become that light. From here, we're going to pray, Mother, Father, God, creator of all that is, Atanaha, all that is, the winds and the water. Atanaha, thank you for my life. Thank you for the life of Kelley Hunter. Thank you for each and every listener of Leading with Light. Bless everyone with the highest vibration of all that is. May their highest and best dreams come true. Be with us today as we share these energies so we can be prepared, so we can utilize them, so we can serve them to our highest and best ability with infinite amounts of unconditional love and support from all that is. Thank you, Creator.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Do you feel buzzed? I do.
I do. Yes. You know, the pattern I just described, especially with Haumea and Eris, they're on the quantum consciousness level. These are bodies that have just been discovered in the last couple of decades since the third millennium opened. And they represent this new consciousness that we're rising into, where there's the white sparkly. These are indigenous creator gods, a lot of these new objects out there. And they are creator gods that bring from the unmanifest into manifestation. And we do that through quantum consciousness when we're tuning into the center, right? Into the 0 point energy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the patterns, and that's inviting us into this new consciousness, because the old way isn't working anymore.
Nope. We got to bring our light.
Pattern, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Crank it up. So the other pattern is one that's key this year. And it started at the end of last year when the planets Jupiter and Saturn got together right at the beginning of Aquarius and opened the portal into the age of Aquarius. And what happened was we entered a new dimension that's going to be more amplified when Pluto goes into Aquarius in 2023-24. So we're entering, and this year Saturn in Aquarius is looking at Uranus in Taurus and saying, here's all this new energy. And Uranus says, I'm going to embody this new level of consciousness. So these two are squaring off, which means a 90-degree angle, which is a manifestation because it's based on the number 4. And they're like, okay, we're doing this. Take it on, everybody. And so we've had 2 exact alignments this year so far. And we're in this zone where we're exploring, where we're holding back, where we're resisting, where we're feeling limitations, how to open that up through a change of our mind and this quantum consciousness. And then Uranus is like, I want to embody more deeply into the earth energy as it is changing consciousness, as the earth is evolving, and we want to be dancing with it, or we're going to be blown off the planet. So these 2 planets are helping us navigate this interesting dance of embodying higher consciousness.
So say the 2 planets again that are helping us do that.
Saturn, which is, here's what's happening, everybody. Work with me and I will reward you, but this is what we're doing now. And then Uranus, which is higher consciousness. It's one of the planets, the outer planets that, we don't see with the naked eye unless you're really good. And it's about the higher mind. It's about awakening higher consciousness.
Okay, gotcha.
So those two have their last alignment the very last week of 2021.
Wow. And we've
Yeah,
been
it's
dancing with them
happening.
hardcore for the past couple of years, right? 2 or 3 years?
Not really. It's
No?
they've been squaring off this year only.
Oh, okay.
So this is the last one of 3 coming up, and this is the test. We're doing it. This is it. No more practicing.
All right, let's do it.
So we also have some activations of that pattern coming up. So now that I've explained those 2 main patterns of the year, let's get into the seasonal sequence here, starting with September equinox. And that's going to be spring equinox for the southern hemisphere and fall equinox for the northern hemisphere. And that comes in right after a full moon on September 20th. There's a full moon in sun sign Virgo, moon sign Pisces. And this is a spiritual calling. This full moon aligns with Neptune. So we really need to hold on to our spiritual anchor here. And also really appreciate the vibration of the earth energy as it's uplifting.
So that's on the 20th, right?
That's the full moon is on the 20th, 21st, depending on where in the world you are. And then the equinox is on September 22nd.
Okay, so
this
I'm
is
just looking at the Mayan calendar, and that is the first day of moon 3, which is the moon of motion. And it's a 7, which is aligning, portal, which is extra powerful, Sunday in a wizard realm. So it's super magical. We're gonna be poofing into motion for the first time this year in the Mayan calendar. But
well, those 2 signs, Pisces and Virgo, are mutable. They move.
Right. And they're opposites, right? Too, right?
Yeah, Virgo is earth. So it's our body, it's our instrument, it's how we are resonating with nature and the natural rhythms. Pisces is that pink, compassionate energy that we need to be able to forgive ourselves for not being perfect, forgive everybody else, really appreciate the spiritual beings that we are having a physical experience.
Wow,
and
compassion
so we
for that.
really
How about
need
a little download on that we can have that compassion for our experience here on this earth. Just
that'll
really
be a
quick.
great way to inaugurate the equinox. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're just gonna go up, and if you like this download, you just say heaven yes. But we're gonna just teach us creator's perspective on what it feels like to have that compassion for ourselves in this human experience on this earth, playing with all these different people having their free choice, along with all of this different celestial energy affecting us. It's such a dance.
Yes. Celestial music.
So if you'd like to know how to dance freely with that compassion for your human self on this earth at this time, just say heaven yes.
Heaven yes.
So it is. Poof. No matter when you're listening to this, it's yours if you want it.
And drink plenty of water.
Yeah, otherwise you can't move so well. You're kind of crunchy. Your cells get all toxified, and it just gets all crunchy, and you have a harder time. You lose your patience more. So on the equinox, the fall equinox or the spring equinox, it's also a portal day in the Mayan calendar. It's a 9 wind. So that's like bringing things into form in a super powerful way, speaking the breath of spirit as a wizard on this earth. So like just being an infinite divine creatress, speaking the power out into the world. And I mean, in that your words have power and you are a creator. And so what you say happens at least 50% of the time. The more you clear up those limiting belief systems, the more spontaneous it's going to be. Like I have to really watch what I'm saying these days, because if I saw this cat on Facebook, it was a black cat, and I was like, oh, I miss my black cat. I want a black cat. I came home the next day and my wife was like, there's a black cat at the chicken coop hanging out, drinking water. And I'm like, oh boy, I got to watch it.
Well, there's a little trickiness about this this time in September after equinox, is that Venus is in Scorpio, which is pretty intense and transformative emotionally. And Mars is in Libra, which is a sign of choices. And they're in each other's signs. So they're each a little uncomfortable. So there's a bit of like emotional uncomfortableness that is sort of like bubbling under, because we're heading right into a Mercury retrograde on September 26th, 7th in Libra, which is about making choices. So if you have choices that are right up in front of you, Mercury retrograde says, wait a minute, it might not be time to make that decision yet. There might be new information coming in. You might have other options you haven't considered yet. You might see where other people are at and what they have to say. So there's finding a balance here, and one that feels like a real yes. So Mercury is retrograde from the end of September here to October 18th, at which time it moves forward. And that is more time to be more clear about your choices and your decisions. And you even have into early November to make those decisions, because it isn't until November 3rd that Mercury gets back to where it started retrograde.
Right.
And
Wow.
it's in an alignment with Haumea, right with Haumea. Haumea is saying, what do you want to give birth to? This is a bigger decision than you might be thinking. And it's looking at Pluto and saying, okay, you know, this is going to have impact here. The things are being rearranged. So if I had made a choice a couple of weeks ago, it wouldn't have been as relevant because things have changed. So excellent. Now what?
Wow. And this is interesting because it's lining up again with the, Stargazer Lee's Mayan calendar. Well, her interpretation of the Mayan calendar based on the Tzolk'in 260-day cycle. In that the October 18th is the first day of the new moon of form. So things are going into form in a whole new way. And then in the moon of form, it goes through all the way to, it's still going through the Mercury thing. So things are shifting in that month, as you were saying. And then on the November 3rd, when it goes direct finally, when it starts moving forward finally, it's a portal day, another portal day. And, it's an integrating portal day, and it's a seed day. So we're planting a new seed.
Well, there's Haumea, right?
Yeah.
She's gestating a new seed.
Yeah, fascinating.
Another couple of things to remember about this time is even just before equinox and the days following equinox, Venus is activating the Saturn-Uranus thing. How are you going to make this change? So Venus is in on it. So it's activated, and that can be a little disruptive, and again, a kind of emotional stirring up here. And so then what have
are those dates? Venus, like on the October 7th?
17th to the 23rd. Oh, it's activating that pattern of the year.
Oh, okay, good.
And Mercury is activating the other pattern. The Mercury retrograde is activating the other pattern. So this is a pretty potent time. And then when we get into October, we have a new moon on October 6th. Exactly conjunct Mars. It's an action, it's a decision time, but we're not ready to go there yet. It's like there's a level of impatience. I want to know what I'm doing. And it's like, but it also can mean conversations, but it can also mean arguments. So there's a kind of diciness to this, because Mars is a little frustrated that it just can't do it. it's waiting on somebody, or, it's not time yet, or whatever.
So like looking at all this, where's the timeout zones where you don't go into those kind of things? Just you just back off.
This is like, how do you refine your balance? Libra's about balance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also about justice.
Mm-hmm.
So give the other person the benefit of the doubt before you say something you'll regret later.
Basically until November.
Yeah, keep listening to other people. Libra is about that. What's your point of view?
Mm-hmm.
And don't just come down hard. Don't get argumentative. It's like, let's see if we can kind of reach some kind of agreement here and act on it together. Which is what Haumea wants. Haumea wants these new partnerships so that we can move along in harmony.
How about like, we know what that feels like? How about a download for that? To know how to create easily and effortlessly and joyfully, free from stress, new partnerships of pretty much.
There's one more factor behind this.
Yeah, tell me.
That is that new moon's on October 6th was the Mars activation. The next day, October 7th, Venus goes into Sagittarius, which is the sign of truth. And Mercury, still retrograde, is opposite Chiron, which is the consciousness shift. So there are a lot of things happening that same day, and we've had so many planets retrograde, and right on that same day, and just a couple of days further into October, Pluto was going backwards. It turns forward on October 6th. Saturn, that has been moving backwards, turns forward on October 11th. Jupiter has been moving backwards and turns forward on October 18th. So this is a lot happening at once. That's kind of like a green light. So, Mars wants to go, but we have to be in some kind of balanced alignment to do so, or we're going to fall down.
Wow.
So can we do download for that whole thing?
Yeah, I'm going to have to pray that in.
So let me explain it one more time.
Yeah.
So Saturn and Jupiter are in Aquarius, and they're like, they've been consolidating all of what we've been experiencing this year, and then in the middle, like the early and middle of October, they move forward. So it's time to start moving forward again, because we've had this new information. Mercury's retrograde. We're taking it in. We're considering it. And that gives us a little bit of pause, in terms of what we want to do.
Okay, well,
okay.
How about I'm going to go up and ask Creator what we need to download, because that seems like a lot. And I'm just laughing.
It is
a
lot.
I can feel it. I mean, it's so up. I can just feel it in lots of people's lives, not just my own.
It's going to be a little shocking. I mean, this is a paradigm shift in the way that we think. This is a powerful Mercury retrograde.
So let's first off, would you like to know what it feels like to be really super centered in self and connected to source as we move forward in a whole new way of creating the way we want to be on this earth in relationship?
That's a good one.
How about we just do that one?
Yeah.
That'll
take care of the whole thing. That'll take care of the whole thing.
That was good. Okay. And then it's safe to change, and it's safe to evolve, and it's safe to wait for it and be patient as
you can change your mind.
Yep, you can change your mind. You can give people the space easily and effortlessly to do their process, free from having to take it all personally, because I can imagine that would be happening. And then how do you up self-care massively, like drinking tons of water, breathing, resting, going to bed early, maybe educating yourself, maybe like honing into deep studying, maybe just praying a lot and maybe doing some artwork, maybe doing some deep meditation, taking some space for yourself, not making yourself, giving yourself permission to not have to decide, and knowing that on a cellular level that it's safe to take those steps, because sometimes, we like to push the envelope.
And we can pray about the decisions or choices that we face. We can pray about them.
Really considering it, right? Sitting with the stars. The word consider apparently means to sit with the stars. So would you like to know what it feels like for you to be safe, to sit with the stars, to consider all of the options, all of what you're dealing with, and then what the world and different people in your lives are dealing with, and you just know that you're safe to give yourself that kind of space. And then ultimately, wow, it sounds really ultimately exciting. It sounds kind of like walking on fire and then getting to the other side, and it's all, the old is burnt away and the new is more authentic.
There's that, and also the sensation of riding a wave, and it's like a long wave. And that's where we need to keep that vibration of compassion for ourselves and others during this whole time. It's like a wave.
That little Pisces thing. So let's put that in there. Creator, would you like to know what it feels like? Everyone, would you like to know what it feels like to have creator's perspective of how to be compassionate with yourself as you're surfing these multiply complex energies that are at play? And just having that image of being on top of a wave and just like getting that really big expansive view while you're keeping your balance and your breath happening and just surfing it. Actually, how can you have fun while you're surfing it? Because surfing's kind of supposed to be fun, right? Let's just have fun with this. I mean, how exciting, you're up leveling, how you're engaging with self and others. So let's give you creator's perspective on that. If you want that, you just say heaven yes.
Heaven yes.
Righty, hold on. That's why I love that we do this, Kelley. I think that otherwise, if we don't know, I mean, my gosh, if we don't have a little bit of heads up of all of that, I mean, whoa, what would we do?
Just keep that date in mind, the October, the October dates when all the planets are moving forward, including Mercury on the 18th.
Wow. So that's kind of like the 6th, October 6th through kind of almost the 18th.
18th, yes. And then we have
forward
a full
all
moon.
The way. Yeah.
We have a full moon on the 20th of October. Full moon on the 20th, and it plugs right in to the Pluto Haumea Eris. It's right activating Haumea and Eris. It's, and those are the higher consciousness. Those are new archetypes that we have access to now. So it plugs right into that.
It feels like I could just see doing lots of artwork around that. I don't know. It just feels like that creative.
Well, stimulating the creative juices. Absolutely. Well, it could be artwork. It could also be movement and dance and movement to music or something. So, whatever appeals, right? Whatever's moving you. I guess we were talking about movable energies.
Right.
And then October ends with Mars going into like Scorpio on Halloween weekend.
Oh boy.
So Mars is going to be in its own thing, and it's going to be a kind of all or nothing. Okay, we're in it now. All the green lights have turned green at once. We're riding the wave, and Mars is like, I'm into it. And there's not as much quibbling about the decisions. It's more like, I'm feeling it now. And then we go into November, and we get a new moon on November 4th that's totally plugged in to the Uranus-Saturn thing, totally plugged in. This is a change moment. This is a manifestation. This is like, whoa, what a roller coaster ride. And this is the time when Mars is going to be also plugging in to that dynamic and saying, whoa, this is really like, whoa, it's like a bit shocking. It's a bit tumultuous. That's especially November 10th and 17th, that week. Could be, world changing, because it's the manifestation of the change that's been in progress all year. And having a lot of, like, Saturn holds back and resists at worst, and Uranus gets too wild and crazy and radical. So how can we find the meeting ground so we can more, like, with more awareness, bring this energy of consciousness in through our bodies in a way that isn't shocking or upheaval, is more sure and steady and grounded, is the right word there. So that's the first half of November. And then we have a full moon on November 19th that is a partial lunar eclipse. And this one is also connected to Jupiter. So it's connected to Jupiter that's in Aquarius, and it's saying, hey, opportunities here, opportunities here. A lot has shifted and changed. So some of the old stuff isn't there anymore, and there are new opportunities. And so this is getting together. This is a very powerful and productive moon. This is like a lot can happen here that moves us along in a positive way. So that's the November 19th eclipse. And let's see.
Oh boy, that's interesting. It's in a storm wave in the Mayan, in Sergei Zerli's calendar, which is transformation, catalyzing, sparking, and things are just gonna move. Woo!
Yeah, it's really activating a kind of level of the collective consciousness that has, like, a long history behind it. Of this is the way it's been for so long, we hardly know another way, but now it's changing. Like, wow.
And it's
wow.
on a 2 Sunday. So is it on a 2, which is relatedness, which in September we just started another 260-day cycle in the moon of relatedness in that 2. So for the next, and last year in the Wizard, it was the second year of the Wizard journey. So we have the 2 repeating into this year for another 9 months. So again, this 2 is showing up on that new moon, relating to how we're going to shine out in the world with each other in a transformative way. That's pretty epic.
Well,
in
during
the moon
that selfhood. Well, that's the thing. There's the Libra, a lot of Libra energy. But in order to relate, we have to be centered in ourselves. And then, it can change the dynamic in relationships when we hold our own ground and we're not being defensive. We're not trying to, like, fight for our point of view, that we're assertive. I'm okay with where I'm at. Like, where are you at? And so this Mercury retrograde is rethinking some of the dialogue, some of the points of view. It's getting new information. And when we have all of that and have changed our perspective and our minds have changed to some extent, then this new thing can happen. The relatedness powerful. Is a new level of relatedness, in fact.
Well, how about a little download on how to let go easily and gracefully and in trust, that we can let go of the old ways, the old outdated ways, and then we can just step forth and embrace with excitement and curiosity, the new ways that we get to relate.
That's a good theme for the eclipses all of this year, that open-mindedness and that curiosity. There are, let's explore some new territory, because we're letting go of some of our belief systems. It doesn't have to be the way we've always thought it had to be.
It's that human fear of the unknown. Sometimes we just clench down on the unknown, but we don't know how good it could be. We don't, somehow it
Yes.
doesn't really pop into our brain. So how about that download that we were talking about before, but also that we can trust that the unknown can actually have wonderful, infinite possibilities of love and support and true, authentic connection. And
it can't get much worse, can it?
No, it's done. It's over. It's done. So it can only get better from here. So let's do that with like knowing that we're supported by that highest vibration of all that is, and that there's infinite possibilities that we may not have already thought about, that we can attract that highest vibration, that unconditional love, and be held, and it can be great. How about that? Would you like to know what that feels like? Stepping into the unknown with joy and curiosity and woohoo. If you like that, you just say heaven, yes.
Heaven, yes.
Woohoo.
Yeah, we've got this adventuring energy. You know, Venus has been in Sag part of this time. Mercury moves into Sag. It's like an adventuring. It's like telling a new story. We're writing a new story.
I mean, don't you want to write a new story? I want to write a new story. I mean, I'm so tired of the old story. Aren't you tired of the old story?
That's both personally and collectively.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. So that, you know, we had that partial lunar eclipse on November 19th. And then there's always two eclipses. There's a total solar eclipse on December 4th.
And maybe third in different places, in third or fourth, depending on where we're at, or
let me see, what time is that moon? It's at 2:43 a.m. Eastern. So it's going to be on the 3rd in Pacific time.
Right.
For instance, yep. So this is a total solar eclipse. In December, we had a total solar eclipse last December.
Oh, yes.
But this is a little earlier in Sagittarius. And what are my notes here? It's about leaving behind the old stories. It's exactly about that. We had an opportunity to do that last year on that total eclipse on December 14th that then, you know, took us on a huge wave through the solstice portal and the Jupiter-Saturn alignment. So that was a big wave. This is a different kind of energy, you know, that we're taking we're moving to another level to come out with more of the new story that we've been exploring this year.
Cool.
And yeah, so that's a beautiful total solar eclipse. Now the solar eclipses, they repeat every 18 or 19 years. This total solar eclipse on December 4th happened on December 4th, 2002, December 4th, 1983, and December 4th, 1964. Wow. Just in case you have any life markers that can help you. I do, which is why I noticed it. So
your birthday's in December, so.
Yes, a couple of days after that.
Yeah.
Yep. So so we're almost at the end of the year now, and that total eclipse is definitely a celebratory moment with the new story emerging. And then we have a full moon eclipse on December 18th, just a couple of days before solstice. And it's at 27 Sagittarius sun, 27 Gemini moon. Now the 27-26-7 Sagittarius is aligned with the galactic center, the heart of our Milky Way galaxy. So we are getting a full moon download from central headquarters. And this is also going to help rebirth the new story. And do you want to do a look at the calendar for a moment?
Yeah, it was just, wow, that's in the string of 10 portal days.
I am not surprised, because what else is going on? What else is going on right on the solstice this year is Venus lines up with Pluto, and Venus goes retrograde. So that's Venus gets as high in the sky as it can over the course of this season. And then she can't get any farther from the sun. So she has to turn back toward the sun. She'll drop in the sky. She'll end up setting with the sun, and she'll disappear for a couple of weeks, and then she'll come up as the morning star. So she moves from evening star to morning star.
Venus out.
This Venus goes to the underworld, so to speak, but she's conjunct Pluto.
What does this
And
mean?
This means that the Venus is the money goddess. This suggests a new financial system, honestly, which is, also indicated by Uranus and Taurus. And this is also more changes coming, and Venus is like, I'm going to make these work for me. I'm going to make them work for me. And so this also plugs into the Pluto Haumea Eris. This whole Venus retrograde engages all of that energy we talked about, brings us across into the new year. And this whole circle of Venus, she's retrograde all the way through January. And she doesn't get back to where she started. She comes back to where she started and reconnects with Pluto on March 2nd, 2022. So this is like we're going into this new format that is going to improve our lives, but you've got to work with it. You've got to take responsibility, step up, and work with it.
There's no other way, really.
Glorious. Venus in Capricorn is the wisdom goddess. Yeah, there she is with the standing stones. She goes, I've been here for a long time, and I know how to work this. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be beautiful and joyful. These are all the Venus energies. What's working and what's not, that's a Saturn question. What's beautiful and true, those are Venus values.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. Right on solstice. I mean, basically.
Wow.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. We'll be in the middle of that after that 10-star portal day. We're almost like right in the middle of that 260-day Zolkin calendar of the relatedness. So we're only midway through that process of changing the way that we're relating. And then it's going to continue on. So that's that's next year, 2022. And
on on December 24th is the last Uranus-Saturn dynamic, the last exact one.
Wow.
And there's Venus with Pluto saying, okay, that old system is gone. This is going to work much better in the long run.
So that in this calendar is the last of the 10 portal days.
Oh.
In the serpent wave, and it's an 11 eagle, which is the highest perspective, letting go of what no longer serves.
Is that the serpent is what no longer serves?
No,
the old
the 11. The 11 is after. The 11 is what no longer serves after the complete manifestation. And so it's getting that highest perspective of the eagle, letting go of that Kundalini kind of embodiment, the old that no longer serves energy. So that is the perfect time for all that to happen.
It's amazing. It's such a grand finale. We had a grand finale last year with a total eclipse and then the solstice with Jupiter, Saturn. This year we have a total eclipse and we have the Mercury, Pluto, Venus going retrograde, the last of the Uranus square Saturns. It's like, whew, that's it. We've done it. Whatever we've done, we just got to get in sync with it and make it work for us as we move along into the new year. Wow.
Wow, Kelley. Woof.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty fantastic that we've gone over these power portals, because I think we need as much heads up and preparation time as possible. So, it's been such a pleasure having you join me here on Leading with Light today. I love what you're up to in the world, and I am so grateful that you're sharing what you got going on with us so that we know how to navigate this next place. And I know how much the planet needs people just like you. Thank you for being here today.
I love the downloads that go with this, and I love the Mayan synchronicities with it.
Yeah, it's pretty
Thank
fascinating.
you.
I'm so grateful for you being here today. And wow, that's going to be a lot of breathing through all of that. Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of drinking water.
A lot of water and breathing. First 2 rules of being a human body: you got to breathe, and then you got to drink water. And after that, it's up to you. But if you don't do those 2 things, you don't get to be here. So let's practice that, y'all. And please join us on our Facebook group, Leading with Light, so that you can engage with this community of little transformational leaders and learn more about all the things that are up in the world in this podcast. Thank you for sharing this and rating and reviewing. I love reading your reviews, and please share it with your friends, and look forward to engaging with you on that Facebook group. Thank you, Kelley, so much.
Yeah, I just want to let people know my refreshed website is live. So
that's exciting.
Kind of look on it. Yeah.
HeliaStar.com. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It looks different. I like it. I hope you do.
Yay. I can't wait to check it out. Awesome. Okay, many blessings to everyone out there.
Oh, happy season and happy new year when we get there.
Oh my gosh. Yoo-hoo. Bye.
You've been listening to Leading with Light. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every Tuesday for more exciting ways to help you pop into true divine connection and clarity, live in the energy of limitless possibilities, and delight in the love playground. Get your magic on and make this world a happier place. Yo.